As a co-working operator, I can pretty much guarantee that you have a Google business profile. The question is, are you using it to its full potential? And these days, as AI search gets bigger and more prominent, Google business profiles are becoming an upstream data feed for AI search visibility. So in this video, I'm going to talk through a couple of things that you're probably already doing with your Google business profile, as well as a few things that you can do to optimize your profile that you might not be thinking about yet. So if you have a Google business profile, there's a few things you're probably already doing. You probably have your profile claimed and verified. You probably also have your business name, address, and phone number filled in. I'd imagine you've probably already set your category to something like co-working space, and you've probably already got your hours of operation listed, and I'll get back to that in a little bit here. It's probably also safe to say that you have a website link, a description, a few photos of your location or locations, your meeting space and your event spaces, and more than likely a few reviews that you've responded to sporadically. In fairness, that's virtually a total and complete profile, but it's also kind of unremarkable. So let's talk about a few things that you can do to level up your Google business profile and why you should bother doing it. So one thing that I see operators doing wrong is listing their hours as 24/7 because members can technically sign in with a key fob at any time. That's actually technically against the Google business profile rules. You should be listing your hours as when the space is staffed. Another easy win is to list all of your holiday closures and any closures in advance so that anytime people land on your Google business profile, they're seeing the most up-to-date information. Another thing you can do is cut back the amount of wording that's in your business name on your Google business profiles. In many cases, I'll see operators try to stuff keywords into the title of their business. But the better practice is to list exactly what's shown on the signage of your co-working space and the title of your co-working website. When it comes to photography, having recent and refreshed photos is really, really important. Two things to avoid when it comes to the photos that you're showing on your Google business profile is avoid stock photography. To be fair, I don't see this happen very often, but I do see it happen occasionally. And the other is AI-generated imagery. Most of the AI image generation platforms are now leaving metadata or even watermarks on AI imagery to show that it's been run through an AI system. So it's now harder to pass AI-generated imagery as real imagery. Another thing with AI-generated imagery, if you're using it to add furnishings or decor to your spaces that you're showing on your Google business profile, there can be a bit of a disconnect there when people see it looking one way on the internet and then come in to view the space and it doesn't look the way it's displayed. So in my opinion, transparency and honesty are the best policy here. Another thing that you might not be doing on your Google business profile is listing your services. But this is actually a pretty quick and easy win. Testing has shown that adding services to your Google business profile has actually increased ranking within 1 to 3 days. So the big thing to consider here is that the service name is what matters. Don't worry so much about the description. You just want to make sure that you have the service listed. And when you're listing services, try to list everything individually, whether it's hot desks, private offices, dedicated desks, day passes, meeting rooms, event space, podcast studios, phone booths, virtual mail and mail handling, and even 24/7 access. Similar to services, but also different and equally important, are attributes. So attributes would be things like Wi-Fi, free parking, wheelchair access. Tick whatever's applicable to your co-working space. This is important because the way people are searching using AI is changing. So instead of looking for a specific question in Google and getting a specific page served to them via SEO, they're now having conversations with qualifying factors like, I want somewhere with a good vibe, but privacy available, fast Wi-Fi, and free parking. So every empty field is essentially a question that can't be answered about your space. The next thing to consider are categories. So you've obviously set your primary category, which is probably something like co-working space, but you might not know that you can actually set an additional 9 subcategories for 10 in total, including your primary one. You can try things like office space rental agency, shared office, conference center, virtual office rental. Play with these and see what makes sense. Don't do anything that's too far out of the realms of reality, but adding categories that are tertiary or peripheral or relevant to your business is a great call. And when you're adding categories, try adding 1 a week. I wouldn't go in there and add 9 all in one go. Another thing that's widely underused on Google business profiles is video. You don't have to do this all the time, and you don't have to spend a ton of time on it. Even a monthly 20-second video will do the trick. Just things like your kitchen, your communal areas, a quiet floor, whatever it might be. The key here is just to consistently post video that shows your space in action. So the next one is one of the most important things on your Google business profile. But there's a couple nuances that you might be missing when it comes to this, and that is reviews. So research has shown that 47% of people skip Google business profiles that have less than 20 reviews. More to the point, 74% of people expect to see reviews that have come in within the last 3 months. So having a whole wall of 5-star reviews from back in 2023 just doesn't have the same impact as having new and recent reviews populating on your Google business profile. So slow and steady often wins the race when it comes to reviews. Having 4 quality reviews in a month is definitely going to beat having 40 reviews in a week. The reason why is that when you have that uptick in volume in a short period of time and then nothing else on the other side of it, for one, it looks spammy, and those kind of reviews are more likely to get filtered and not show up in your profile at all. It's also not enough to just have reviews on your profile and to have a good star rating. You also have to be seen to be proactively responding to those reviews when they come in. Speed is also an essential factor here. Your goal should be to get to every review within 48 hours of it coming in. But here's where it gets a little trickier. Instead of just dropping a canned response onto a review, try to take an extra second to write something that's a little more custom. Studies have shown that 80% of people prefer a business that responds to their reviews, and 50% of them are put off by blatantly templated responses. The good news here, though, is that you don't have to proactively look for reviews at every opportunity. This is something that you can really easily automate via email. So you can have automated emails go out to members, to meeting room bookers, to day pass bookers, to event space users, and whoever it might be, asking them to leave a review on your Google business profile. The key is to make this really easy for them. No extra work, no extra clicks. Send them a little blurb saying, hey, we're glad you're here, glad you're a member of the space. If you're enjoying the experience, please leave us a review, and hyperlink the actual review section of your Google business profile so that all they have to do is click, write, add stars, and be out of there. The less friction in that process, the more likely they are to actually leave a review. You can also add into that email that if they have a photo of the space, please feel free to add that to the review. Having reviews with photos makes the review look a little bit more authentic, but it also kind of gives people that insight into the experience of being in your space from that member, that user's perspective. The great part about this is that you probably already have a Google business profile, and none of these optimizations and tweaks are going to take you much time at all. That essentially means that you're getting disproportionate value for a minimal amount of effort. So remember, Google business profiles are great for SEO, they're great for visibility on Google, but they're also becoming really good for visibility in AI search. So if you haven't made these updates or haven't made these tweaks, take a little bit of time to do it now and see if it doesn't improve things.